All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. We're back talking some baseball. I'm with my man, Hamwich. We're live. 12 games. It's a big one, Ham. Pitching seems like it's pretty condensed with a couple guys. Bats, there's a lot of them. Top stack of the night, at least the highest implied total, is the Braves. And it looks like some weather concerns for sure in Boston there. So Atlanta, Boston. Kevin Roth has it at orange, and yeah, it looks pretty concerning to me. Bats, pitchers, no interest in pitchers in that one, but monitor that. We'll be in the Discord, breaking that down as well, but definitely monitor it because postpone seems very likely in that. But hey, even if there is 11 games, still a good slate to talk about. How's your Tuesday going, Ham? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Down here at the beach. I hope we ship some beach winners. I did a draft earlier with you, did a little work, did some beach. And ready to pick these winners. Had a decent little night last night. Got fifth in the qualifier on FanDuel, which fifth is last basically. But I had a chance there with extra innings in LA, and I was just short there. So feeling good about tonight and some good contest on FanDuel for a change.
Love it, yeah. Fifth place. Unfortunately, second place is just like last place in those puppies. That's why I don't MMA. That's where I'll throw my money. I'll donate my money. I'll burn it in the qualifiers in MMA. Can't get myself to donate any more in those streets. But hey, when you do get there, the DK, FanDuel, they treat you right. The prize pools are absolutely insane. One of my guys got me to the live finals of Proxy last time out. Deepwater is his name. So I experienced it without even having to go through that grind. They definitely do it right, no doubt. But hopefully you do get one. Hamwich, before we go game by game, as always, got to shout out people in chat. Tolga's in here, Gator Nation, Brian England, Alex Corin, Mike Carr, Jax, Paraby, Izzy, Zodiac Pop, Richie Small, San Marcos. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. A lot of familiar names in here. 30 minutes later than usual, we're going today. We'll be back at the 4:30 Eastern time like usual. Dorian's in here. Dante is in here. He's going to be 100K richer tonight. Hey, I could sign up for that proposition as well. Talking about, Woodruff's throwing for the Timber Rattlers on Thursday. What the hell's a T-Rat? As he says, hey, you didn't watch yesterday, Izzy. I thought I saw you in chat. Nate's brought up the Timber Rattlers farm team over there for the Brewers somewhere up north, a little bit in the Appleton area. Justin Barton, what's going on, Justin? Tolga already talking about this slate. Before we get into the slate, Tolga, got to shout out our partner over there, drafters.com. We just did an NFL best ball draft. Marley and I, Hamwich was in it. Multiple members were in it as well. If you do not have an account, they have great contests, $20, $300K up top, $3, $30K up top. Use the promo code SHIPIT. They will match 100%, $20 all the way up to $100. So you put $100 in, they will give you a free $100. Can do plenty of $3 drafts, can do multiple $20 drafts, whatever you do like. So use that promo code SHIPIT. No better deal out there. Corey Pooler, Mighty Saints in here as well. It's time to get into it, though. We appreciate that like button. Appreciate the subscribe button. First thing when you do, if you hit that, get in a routine. It takes 2 seconds. Doesn't hurt anybody. Just helps us out. Giving you shows every single day. Enough of that, though. Time to get into pitching on this slate. Again, I think it's a pretty good one. We're going to start. We'll go 9K and above. There's enough guys. There's enough guys up top that are viable that I think 9K and above. Merrill Kelly all the way up to Pablo Lopez. We'll use DK pricing. If you notice anything different on FanDuel, make sure to talk about that. But Corbin Burns and Blake Snell will be the two most popular pitchers on this slate, both in this range. I'll let you talk about it. Corbin Burns has been back to the old Corbin Burns as of late. Blake Snell, his walks have been back to the old Blake Snell. Definitely still has all the upside in the world. Both of them, 7.5K prop, juice on the over. Pablo Lopez is right there as well. I could throw him in that boat. I don't think his ownership's going to be the same. Little drop down. He gets good old Bill Miller behind the dish there. 7.5K prop as well. Gets Seattle right in that same game. So I don't really like Merrill Kelly. That's a cross off for me. Julio Urias against Toronto, I'm crossing him off too. But Verlander, Burns, I'm not playing Charlie Morton either, even if it wasn't weather. So cross off Morton. Interested to see your take on Abbott. No Urias for me. Snell, Lopez, multiple viable guys in this range for me. What do you got, Hamwich?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. You nailed it, Title. And it's a little bit different for me just for the fact that I'll be playing on FanDuel tonight. So you get the discount on Lopez coming in at 10K, where Snell was 11K on FanDuel. So I have all the interest in the world on FanDuel for Lopez. Great matchup, great prop that you alluded to a minute ago. He's striking out over 30% of the batters from the left-handed and the right-handed side on the season. I'm sorry, not on the season, on the last 30 days. 33% of lefties, 26% of righties. We all know this Mariners team can strike out. So I really like him on FanDuel. I don't mind him on DraftKings as well if you were going there. And then Blake Snell, kind of flip-flop those two on the sites. Give me all the Blake Snell in the world. I think that Blake Snell's got a great price on DK tonight. A little high on FanDuel. I will have some of him though, but Blake Snell, last time he faced these folks, which was about a month ago, 10 strikeouts, really, no damage. He gave up a first inning home run to Carlos Santana, who actually hit 2 bombs last night. But outside of that, was in no danger. Gets his home part tonight. Really like Blake Snell. Really like Pablo Lopez up there at top. And then, Arias is out for me. I do want to talk a little bit about Andrew Abbott, who has tremendous K upside, who's kind of going to get squeezed out in this range for the simple fact that, you want to try to get to Snell, or you either want to try to go down to Burns. And he's right there almost smack dab in the middle of those two. So Andrew Abbott, I don't think is the worst play against your and Nade's Brewers, who I just don't have any faith in that offense. They're going to pinch hit. So definitely have some interest in Andrew Abbott on DK, and then no Verlander, no Merrill Kelly for me either in that range. So it would just be those three: Burns, Abbott. Four: Burns, Abbott, Snell, and Lopez in that range.
Yeah, we're lockstep there, and I agree with everything you said about Abbott. He is going to get squeezed when it comes to ownership. He's shown that he has big-time upside, 8Ks, 12Ks, couple starts ago, coming off an 8-inning performance last time as well, 32 DK points. This Brewers team, a couple bats have some pop, but not much power in that lineup, some strikeouts in there, no doubt. I like these Reds as well. I think a pitching duel, go Abbott, go Corbin Burns, same game. I like taking that approach as well, so definitely agree with you on Abbott. Still plenty of pitchers on this slate, though. That was only 9K and above. A lot of viable ones. There's enough cheap bets, as always. Pairing two of those guys we have interest in up top, I think that makes a lot of sense, too. It's interesting, the Blake Snell. Yu Darvish did not get the job done as chalk yesterday. Blake Snell going to be pretty chalky. Nade's always talks about it, the good old tree chart. Blake Snell chalk, don't play him. If he's not chalk, play him. On this slate, it totally makes sense. But yeah, with that K prop, it is one of the best matchups. He is at home. Maybe eliminate. I don't know if I necessarily make a rule. Someone mentioned they just got Solver. Excited to mess with it. Oki did. Love that. We have a Solver thing in Discord. Look at all the tutorials. I debate maybe making a rule, max one Burns and Blake Snell, just because there is, I like you mentioned, Pablo Lopez. I like Abbott. There is other guys where I think that pairing will be very popular, the most popular pairing. However, now that I'm saying that, there's enough lower owned bats, lower owned stacks where playing the two chalk pitchers, then you can play low owned 5-man. That I don't think I'd make that rule necessarily, but if you are playing them, you have to get different at bats. Be cognizant on how you build that lineup if you are pairing the two chalk guys. So we'll keep it moving though. Listed lounge is what Dinger Tuesday. Who hits one? We'll get to the dingers at the end of the show. Always do lounge. Hang in there. We'll get you that. Bill B in here. What's going on, my man? All right, keeping it rolling below the 9K range. Let's go. We'll go 7.5K all the way up to 9K. Oh, you didn't mention any Justin Verlander. Did he talk about him at all? Did I miss it?
Yeah, no Verlander for me. He's just not striking anybody out this year. And Burns, let me just give you my take on Burns real quick and why he's a clear number 4 in this range. Is Burns is playing the best offense in my opinion. And the Pirates historically aren't a good offense. I understand they had a good night last night. The Mariners are striking out at an alarming clip, and then I don't think the Brewers' offense is that good. So to me, Burns is a great play, but he's also playing the best offense out of those 4, which is why I would want to limit my exposure to Burns. That's just my opinion, but definitely no Verlander for me.
No, I definitely makes sense. And at that price point on DK, 9.2K, I mean, that's just way too cheap. People are going to gravitate to him. Probably does come in the highest owned pitcher. So can always make a case fading the chalk. Then if you want a little other bump, so he has a neutral umpire behind the dish, but Pablo Lopez, Bill Miller, extreme pitcher's ump. Blake Snell also has a pitcher's ump behind the dish there. So if you want a little deciding factor, get off the chalk a bit. There's cases to be made away from Burns. It's baseball. At the end of the day, if you want to fade any chalk, you can always make the case in this sport. We'll keep it rolling, though, 7.5K. Actually, we'll go 7K because Savale, Michael Kopech, people have been talking about them a little bit. So 7K all the way up to 9K. Again, some pretty big names in this range. George Kirby, Domingo Germán, JP France, Alex Cobb. He's going to get some ownership. I have interest. Great matchup against Oakland. No Chris Bassett. Savale, though, 7.2K. Kopech, 7.1K. Some decent K props down here. Kopech's 5.5, Cobb 5.5, Domingo, George Kirby 5.5. Again, if you don't want to pay up for this upper range, I don't think it's crazy going to some couple of these in this range. My two favorites, Alex Cobb, George Kirby. Alex Cobb, great matchup against Oakland. George Kirby, I'm going to keep playing these pitchers. Finally worked out yesterday, Maeda and Castillo. But you mentioned Pablo Lopez, run it back with Kirby. Just found the same matchup last week. Ceiling performance, 10Ks. Now gets Big Bill Miller behind the dish as well. So, yeah, I'm going to feel like 2 weeks straight, a week and a half straight, I've been just touting pitchers in the Seattle-Minnesota series. Yeah. Go back and forth. Now it's in Minnesota, but Seattle. But, yeah, sign me up for this range. Sign me up for Cobb. Sign me up for Kirby. What do you got?
Yeah, no, you alluded to it. These are some I guess, decent real-life pitchers. And let's talk about one where I think it sounds like we're going to be different on, and that's your boy Chris Bassett. I do have a little bit of interest in Chris Bassett. I know the Dodgers at home is always a scary thought. This would be a DK only type of play in the GPP if you're playing, say, 20 plus. And the reason I say that is he's striking out over 30% of left-handed batters over the last 30 days. And I mean, outside of Mookie, and I don't know if JD's going to be back in the lineup tonight. There are some strikeouts to be had on the left-handed side of the plate. Freddie Freeman's a lefty, although he doesn't strike out that much. James Outman, Jason Hayward, David Peralta, Max Muncy. I do think he could get there. There are 6 projected lefties in that lineup, so I would play Chris Bassett on 20 plus, and DK would not play him on FanDuel. And then Savale, man, I think this guy is absolutely awful. The last time I was on a show and he played the Royals at home, though, I think he went out and put up a 40-piece on me. So I'm kind of gun shy on there. I don't think he's any good, but man, this Royals offense is horrific. So I don't mind Savale there at 7,200. I don't think many people play him because they're all going to want to get up to Alex Cobb at home versus Oakland. I'm not going Alex Cobb. He just doesn't strike anybody out. The only one pitcher, you mentioned Kirby, so I won't touch on him, but I do like Domingo Germán, who has looked good over the last month. Obviously, the perfect game helps his cause there, but 27 DK points against Chicago 2 times ago, 16.7 points against the Angels last time out at home, striking out both sides of the plate 30% of the time over the last 30 days. And, man, I think you got to like him because I don't think a lot of people are going to play him in the Subway Series tonight.
Great breakdown. So I got 2 questions for you in this range because it seemed like you have a good amount of interest in this one. On DK, would you be fine skipping that whole 9K and above, picking 2 guys in that range, Germán, Kirby, Bassett, Germán, something like that, and then rank your favorite 3 in this range, 7K to 9K?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on the bats, right? So you got to figure out what's going to happen in this Atlanta game because you're going to want to play some Atlanta bats if the game plays. So let's just say it doesn't play. I think you're okay. I don't think you're okay with skipping the big boys up top. But if you wanted to play the Braves, if it does play, I think going down to, let's say, a Germán and a Savale in the 7K range, or Germán's 8.3, the lower tiered pitchers, I think would be okay. It just depends on what bats you ultimately land on. If you can skip out on the big 4 that we mentioned earlier. So if I'm ranking these on DK, I'm going to go Blake Snell 1. I'm going to go Pablo Lopez 2, and then just to get contrarian, I would go Domingo Germán 3.
I like it. Yeah, we'll get to this bottom range too, and see if any of them fit in your rankings. But yeah, my favorites in this one, you got to lean on Bassett. He's going to be very, very low owned. I think Germán is low owned too. So 2 GPP plays right there. If you want to play Burns, you want to play Snell, get to chalk bats, and you want to eat that. Ham just gave you two guys in this mid-tier that are going to be low owned. I do like Cobb. I do like George Kirby. Any thoughts on Kopech? I saw his name a couple of times.
I don't see Kopech. I'm not a fan of Kopech, and plus I would pay $100 more personally to get to Savale as opposed to Kopech myself.
I like it. Hoops in the house. Yes, he is. Okay, you can all check. You can check Hoops core plays, Hoops Slate plan, what pitchers he's on, what stacks he's on. It's up on the site. Saw it before I got on at SHIPITNation.com. Check it. Who Hoop is on, and my man King of Smack is in here. He likes the low ownership on Herman as well. Keeping it rolling 7K and below. Not many good options down here. I think this is a whole range you can cross off. That's what I'm going to be recommending. I'd rather go Kopech at 7-1. I definitely would rather Savale at 7-2, Cobb at 7-6. I mean, there's enough guys in that range that we just talked about. There's enough guys up top that I think have big upside. Everyone gets the cross off from me 7K and below, so I'm not even going to make a case for anyone. What about you?
I'll make one case because you're right, Tyler. It is gross down there, but I'm going to make a case for this. This is not for the faint of heart, but it is $6,000. A guy we've picked on all season, Trevor Williams, Washington Nationals, and here's why I say that. People are going to be scared of this Colorado Rockies team because they put up 10 last night on these Nationals. First off, they were playing Patrick Corbin. I know Hoops in the house. So that's Hoops' boy, Patrick Corbin. Everybody flocked to Patrick Corbin last night. They put up 10. But before that, we've all talked about how awful this Rockies offense is, especially away from Coors Field. Now they play Trevor Williams, who's striking out 25% of right-handed batters that he's faced over the last 30 days. Colorado is rolling out five right-handed hitters in their lineup. And then the guys batting from the left-handed side of the plate, let's just look at their K percentage over the last versus righties. You got Toglia, 37% strikeout rate. Nolan Jones, 42% strikeout rate. And the other one was Jurickson Profort, 24% strikeout rate. If you wanted to go there, I think 6K is okay for Trevor Williams. I think he can get you 15, maybe get you a win facing Austin Gomber. I don't think it's the worst play. I'm not personally going there, but if you wanted to get those big bats, I think 6K is okay for Trevor Williams tonight.
If I was going to say one guy, Trevor Williams would have been the one. I don't like it. I mean, it also hurts. Extreme hitters umpire behind the dish. There's no CJ Cron in the lineup. McMahon is back in it. So, hey, I mean, we're punting. No one's going to play them. It'll allow you to spend on, we're talking Braves spend ups, even if that game gets tossed. I mean, if you want the Dodgers, if you want the Padres, Tatis, Machado, Soto, there's expensive bats on this slate you can pay for. So, Pablo Lopez and Trevor Williams, not the craziest thing. Give me 15, 14 if you're going down there. So if I had to say one, it would have been him. There's enough guys in that 7K range, though, that I don't think you need it. If we're going to go, you gave your ranking, so I'll give mine, and then I'll just go right back to you so you can remind the people. I'm going to go Pablo Lopez 1 with you when it comes to tournaments. He's going to be lower owned than Burns. He's going to be lower owned than Snell. Big Bill Miller behind the dish. I absolutely like it. Going right back to that game. Alex Cobb, I'm going to go too. I just love picking on Oakland, 7.6K. I also think he does get the win in here. I think the Giants put up some runs. I like some of their offense, and I love picking on Oakland. So I'm going to go Cobb 2. I'm going to go Burns 3, and I'm going to go George Kirby 4. Say your rankings again. You want what? Lopez, Snell, Herman, and then add one more in there.
Yeah, I went Herman. I'll change that. I'll go Andrew Abbott 3rd, Herman 4. Looking at the projections, it's looking at Andrew Abbott coming in roughly 10% on DK. If he's 10% on DK and Burns is 4x that, 40% in a tournament, I think that's a no-brainer to go to Abbott off of Burns. I'm not saying that Burns could certainly outscore him, but if I want to get a 4-to-1 discount in a tournament on that with a guy that I think has just as much upside, K-prop I think they're similar. I think Burns is a little one more strikeout than Abbott, but yeah, give me Lopez, Snell, Abbott, and Herman are going to be my top 4.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Abbott's going to be K-prop is about 1.5, 2 over, depending on where you look. But the ownership is going to be 3x, 4x on Corbin Burnes compared to Abbott. So it definitely makes sense getting different right there. That is pitchers on this slate. It's like if you like someone out there, if they like Justin Verlander, if you like JP France, if you like Michael Kopech, I don't think any of those guys are the craziest plays by any means. There's 12 games on the slate. There's a lot of ways to go. So we had to narrow it down, give our favorites. But again, there's names out there that we didn't say that I think I definitely think you can get to. I wouldn't be the most surprised if they did end up on the winner. Keeping it rolling, though, we'll go game by game. Again, we appreciate that like button, appreciate that subscribe button. And if you want all of our content at ShipItNation.com, projections, hitter rankings, stack rankings, pitcher rankings, as well as core plays for Hamwich, G. Risen, slate plans from Hoop, Nades. And then if you want cash, you play cash games. We got a cash report over here. Also, golf, MMA, NFL will be here before we know it. Best ball. And before you know it, NBA also. All of that has you covered. One low price, $59 a month, $599 a year. 12-game slates, and let's get into it. Colorado Rockies, Washington Nationals, Austin Gomber, Trevor Williams, about 80 degrees. Rockies got the job done yesterday. The Nats came on late as well. Candyman got the job done. Abrams stayed hot. Gomber's bad, man. We always pick on him in Coors Field. I'll pick on him here in Washington as well. This team's scrappy. They're still cheap, are these Nationals. I'll play him 1 through 9. I don't care who it is. Chavis in the 7-hole, sure. Min Price got pop, first base, second base. 4 strikeouts, same as 4 flyouts. So he has pop to get the job done. All these guys, all under 5K. Sign me up for any of them. 1 through 9, I like them. As far as the Rockies, yeah, you mentioned the Trevor Williams love. So maybe a Nolan Jones, McMahon, something like that. But I'll say pass with your interest a little bit on Trevor Williams. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, great call last night by you on the Candyman. You called that home run shot. I was listening to it on the show, so great call there, Candyman. You never that's why you get 27 outs, and I think you got it like on the 25th or 26th. So
yeah,
they still count though. And so great call by you. But and let me correct you real quick because I don't have interest in Trevor Williams.
Fair enough.
Just said I could potentially go there if I needed the 6K, but I definitely wouldn't stack these Rockies. The only two, you said it, Nolan Jones or Ryan McMahon as a one-off or even a mini. I think they're betting, 4-6 tonight or 3-5, somewhere in that range. So I would mini those. And then I can't stack the Nats. There's just better stacks out there, in my opinion. You can always play Lane Thomas. I think he profiles really well versus Gomber. Gomber is a gas can. So I wouldn't hate the stack. But Lane Thomas would be a one-off for me. Power speed combo batting there in the 2-hole. I think he stole 3 bases, 2 or 3 games ago. So, that's 18 FanDuel points. 4. That's 24 FanDuel points right there. So yeah, just interest in those 3 sticks. Jones and McMahon from the left-hand side, and then Lane Thomas from the right-handed side against the Rockies.
I like it. We'll keep it rolling. Next game on the slate. This one. So again, yeah, people were talking about like weather in the Washington one. Yeah, looking at it, orange-yellow. Roth does have. So monitor, if you're playing the turbo slate, you got to monitor Philly. And then main slate, this Washington game that we just talked about, I think it's more scary for pitchers than bats. Again, I follow him. I follow other people in the Discord, Connor as well. He also, I just learned a couple weeks ago, I've known him for a while on Discord, and he also was a meteorologist, goes for school for weather. So you can ask him as well in there. But yeah, monitor the Washington game. We're going to assume it plays. The Boston-Atlanta game looks the most intimidating, but we'll talk like it plays on here, but definitely don't plug in Braves and then leave your computer on today's slate because there is some risk. But next game, Mets, Yankees, Justin Verlander, Domingo Germán, 8.5 total. I guess this game might have some delay risk too. Again, if Verlander, Germán, 2 guys that will get little ownership. Think it plays more than likely, though. I don't know. I'm not picking on Verlander. You like Germán. There's other spots on a 12-game slate I like more. So gets the big X for me. What about you?
Yeah, big X for me. I mean, you never can hate on playing Pete Alonso. Is always capable of going yard, but I won't have any Mets. And then SHIPIT Nation really loves these power lefties, for the Yankees. Verlander only striking out 17% of the left-handed batters over the last 30. Fire up Billy McKinney betting in the 7-hole tonight. Jake Bauers leading off. Anthony Rizzo again had a bomb the other night, and then Kyle Higashioka batting in the 9-hole. He's a righty, but I think you could play that against Verlander. But I'm with you. I don't think I'll be stacking the Yankees just because I want to pick on bad pitchers. And Verlander's not Verlander anymore, but he's also not Austin Gomber either. So I want to pick on bad pitchers, and I'll probably stay away from full stacking against Verlander.
Yeah, I don't hate this shout, though. It's cheap lefties. Billy McKinney, 2.3K. Bauer's leading off, 2.7. If I did go to him, just really cheap. I already paid up at pitching at other spots. No one's going to play him. So, yeah, I don't hate that one bit. Keeping it rolling, the game we were talking about, Atlanta Braves, Boston Red Sox, Charlie Morton. And it's going to be a opener, but then it looks like it'll be Nick Pivetta coming in after. Again, we talked about it was 2 weeks ago. Nick Pivetta was going to start. He was going to get ownership. He shoved. Instead, he went to the bullpen for a long reliever. He absolutely shoved when he came in after. There is some risk if he does get in, though. It looks like he should. I don't know. It's a weather game, obviously. If this game does play, the Braves will probably be the chalkiest team on the slate. But now that I'm saying it, I think people will be worried about weather throughout the night. So maybe it's just you take a risk on them. You'll get them way lower owned than you otherwise would. But you have to know that you could take zeros. And that's definitely in the realm of possibilities. So I don't know. I'll let you break down this game, but definitely monitor weather. 80 degrees, wind blowing out a little bit. Good hitting environment if the game does get in. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I would play this one more on FanDuel than I would on DraftKings. And the reason I say that is if you do roster these folks and the game cancels, you have the ability to switch to, let's say, the Dodgers are probably similarly priced. You can't do that on DK. So this is a FanDuel only for me because, like I said, you can change your players out if there's a game left, and surely it'll be decided by the Dodgers start time. But so I'll start with that. Only Red Sox I have interest in is Rafael Devers against Charlie Morton. I do have a little bit of respect for Morton. I wouldn't play him just because of the rain, but Devers you can always roster, especially against Morton, who struggles more versus lefties than righties this season. And I don't know if you saw it Sunday night, but he was mic'd up, and man, he's he got a lot of money, but he was smiling, laughing, having a good time out there. I thought that was pretty cool that he was doing that. But so he's the only Red Sox, and then any of these Braves 1 through 9. We talk about it all the time. You talk about it. Hoop talks about it. Michael Harris batting in the 9-hole. Ronald Acuna. Anybody you can play. Pivetta does scare us a little bit. 13 Ks in 6 innings is pretty impressive. Now, granted, it was Oakland, but he has strikeout stuff, and just monitor the weather really. And then if they play, just obviously the Braves are lock and load.
Yeah, I always love when they mic guys up. They're out there just having a blast, living their dream, chilling. It's a great sport to do it. Mike Card did say Ross just put up rain for hours, and weather's perfect for a doubleheader tomorrow. So yeah, postpone definitely looks in the realm of possibilities. Again, we'll be in the Discord breaking that down, but you can check out Kevin Ross' work on Twitter. He does it for free. He does a great job. Not very many weathermen out there. I follow guys. I'm no meteorologist. I'll follow people sharper than me. Takes the least amount of time. So looks like I might just be in cash games. My plan right now is hitting the whole X on this game, not even taking the risk. Very sharp point by Hamwich, though. FanDuel does allow, I don't know if the rule is it has to say it's delayed before lock. And then I want to say it's that. It has to say it's delayed before that game locks, which, it always pretty much will. And then if it gets postponed, you can switch. But if it's somehow it wasn't announced prior, which we just saw JD Martinez get scratched after lock, so I guess you never know. Or the game starts and then it stops and gets postponed. You obviously can't swap them then. So if it's delayed before, you can take the chance on FanDuel. But again, then you got to hope FanDuel unlocks it in time. You get the postponed news in time before the last game locks. Otherwise, you are screwed that way. So good point there, though. FanDuel DK differs on their ruling when it comes to postponements. Keeping it rolling, Ham. Next game on the slate, we got a lot to talk about. Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Guardians, Zach Greinke, Aaron Savale, 80 degrees. I respect Savale enough, and I do not like this Royals team where I'm not getting to them. Can always one-off Selby. Got the job done yesterday. If you want to one-off him, a Bobby Witt. Not the craziest thing. No for me. What are you doing with these Guardians, though, man? I feel like I never get targeting Zach Greinke right. These Guardians are cheap. Got some hot bats in there. Josh Naylor, Stephen Kwan. You always got J-Ram you can play. So many cheap guys, 1 through 9 pretty much, where you can double spend at pitcher. You can still play Soto, Machado, Tatis, and you can 5-man Guardians. That's why they'll be in my pool. Pretty good total, but what's your thoughts? Is it a Zach Greinke attack game, or is he just going to do what he does, 3 Ks, navigate somehow through this order?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just use what you guys used yesterday when I was listening to y'all show. It's just like stacking the Guardians is so tough because they rarely beat you, and you know that you talked about it last week. They scored 10 one night and 10 the next night or whatever. But man, and then Hoop wrote about it today, so make sure you get over to ShipItNation.com and check out what Hoop had to say about his slate plan. But these Guardians are tough to roster. They just don't. They just can't. Or not. They shouldn't say they can't. They rarely beat you, especially in an 11 or 12 game slate, depending on what happens with that rain. So I'll personally be off these Guardians. Not playing them against Greinke. Greinke is awful, but I'm not going to play him because I think there's better stacks with more power that can help me win a GPP, which is what I'm playing tonight. So no Guardians for me. Not even a one-off with Josh Bell, Josh Naylor, or Jose Ramirez, and then Savale. PTSD from last time he played the Royals, so I might have a piece of him just because he burned me so bad last time playing these Royals at home. And definitely no Royals for me.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I like the Guardians a little more than you. Again, the prices, Naylor, Kwan, who have been hot. You can always play Ramirez, like I said. But just because what they do in your lineup with the cheap tags, paying up at pitching, I like to do. There are expensive bats. And a good total. So, yeah, I like him more than you in this spot. There are other 5-mans I do prefer, though. Is that true? Kiki Hernandez just got traded to the Dodgers, back to his old stomping grounds. Love Kiki against the lefty anytime. Back to his roots. I saw him I saw him a couple times live. I think he homered like 2 of the 3 games I saw him live. Absolutely mashes lefties. Naylor, Kwan, Jimenez for smack. I like that. I like that a lot. Keeping it rolling, though. We do appreciate over 200 watching, 62 likes. Little hurtful, not going to lie. We appreciate everyone that did hit it, though. That's like a push to 100. We do appreciate that a lot. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, we appreciate that as well. 2.2K. That means probably most of you have hit it. Keeps going up. We do love to see that. Building the channel, dropping videos and live videos and quick hit videos that Ham and G Ryzen do. Something comes up on this channel talking about some sport every single day of the week. Keeping it rolling, Ham. A lot of games to talk about. Next game on the slate, we got Minnesota Twins, Seattle Mariners, George Kirby, Pablo Lopez, XX, no chance. If it beats me, it beats me. What about you?
Yep, nope, you nailed it. We have interest in these pitchers. I'm very high on Lopez. You're very high on Kirby. Yep, double X for both of them.
Like it. Texas Rangers, Houston Astros. We got another opener, and then it might be this Cody Bradford guy coming in as a long reliever. Pretty much looks like a full bullpen game for the most part for the Rangers. As far as the Astros, JP France on the mound. JP France is reverse split, so Adolis Garcia, Marcus Semien, Josh Jung just homered yesterday. Don't mind any of those guys. They are expensive, but they'll be 2% owned, 3% owned. So if you want to go that route, I don't think it's the craziest guaranteed ninth thing at bats. Definitely better pieces in the same pricing tier in a vacuum, though. As far as these Astros, a decent applied total. Still no Yordan back in that lineup. That's hurtful. But bullpen game, I don't love to attack, but I don't think people are really going to get to the Astros. 4.95 team total. Maybe ownership-wise, if this is the team, if you go Burns and you go Blake Snell, I think 5-man stack in the Astros or something like that is a team you can do that with. Other teams I like more in a vacuum, though. What about you?
Yeah, you were about to steal my thunder because I was going to give a hot take on these Rangers. Adolis Garcia, I'm going to give a little foreshadowing to the folks. He's going to go ham tonight, if you will. He's my home run call of the day, my favorite play. He'll be on all 3 of my FanDuel teams tonight. Really love Adolis Garcia. He's going to take one of these 93-mile-an-hour fastballs, send it over the fence in Minute Maid Park or whatever they call it these days. Love Adolis Garcia, Josh Jung, any of these righties, Marcus Semien. Really like these righties, but Adolis Garcia stands out to me. He's my home run call of the day, locking him in on all 3 teams, and he's a great play in my opinion. On the Astro side, nobody's going to play him, like you said. I mean, Chase McCormick hit 2 bombs last night, and I think he was like 0.7% owned. Every time he hit a homer, I thought I was going to get past, and he just never did because nobody owned him. But nobody's going to play these guys. I think, like you said, if you wanted to get different, play the Burns and Snell combo on DK, this would be where you would need to go. I don't think I'm going to get there. I'll take a deeper look after the show, but Give me Garcia, give me these Rangers, and I'll have to wait and see approach on the Astros.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a repeat of what we saw yesterday, that game from the start, from the jump, absolutely started nuking. I'm glad you're on the same page with the righties against France, though. Reverse splits, there's power in this lineup. Again, they are expensive, but it's going to keep their ownership way down. I like the little hamwich, talking about Adolis going ham, if you will, like that little mix on words. Love to see that.
He's striking out. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. He's striking out 8% of the batters over the last 30 days. The JP France is. So I don't think he's going to blow it past any of these guys. I mean, not that 93 is going to blow it past anybody anyway, but he's just not striking out righties, and we love these righties for the Rangers. But Adolis Garcia, everything I look at, all signs point to hit a bomb. So he's going to be on all my teams. I'm just saying that.
No, I absolutely do loved it. I like some of these righties too. At first, you just reassured it. You're putting the hammer down, lock button on your 3 teams. Dolis, let's go deep tonight for Big Ham. Next game, Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers, Andrew Abbott, Corbin Burns. I like Burns. I'm not getting to these Reds. You like Abbott. I like Abbott too. Think he makes for a great play, like we talked about, in between Burns, in between Blake Snell at that ownership. William Contreras is going to get some ownership. So, to be honest, he'd probably be my least favorite Brewer in tournaments. Why eat the chalk, a one-off chalk guy on a team that's not getting ownership otherwise? Yeah, I don't know, though. Like, this team, Tyrone Taylor, if he cracks the lineup, Willie Adames, or just full punt like Weimer, Blake Perkins, you get second base, third base guy with Monasterio down there. I'd use the Brewers as just full punt, a 3-man mini. You're paying all the way up for Braves. You're paying all the way up for Padres. You're paying all the way up for pitching. Same thing as kind of like the Guardians, but I like so many other teams more. So, yeah, more so in X. What about you?
Yeah, we talk about this, from time to time. Like, we don't really like the pitcher. We don't really like the bats either. And this is something to keep in mind. I know y'all talked on a little bit yesterday, but this is Abbott's 3rd time to face this Brewers team in the last 3 weeks. So they've obviously seen him. He's seen them. I do have a little bit more interest in Abbott than these Brewers bats. I won't be having any of those Brewers, and I'm actually pretty high on Abbott now that we've talked about it. And I think he's going to get the better of them tonight. I really do. I'm not afraid of this lineup. I mean, you have Yelich, but I'll trust the lefty on lefty. Where Abbott's striking out 43% of the folks over there on the left-handed side. So no interest in the Brewers and no interest in the Reds either. I talked about they have a good offense. Or a dangerous offense, versus the other 3 top options. The only one I would play would be a one-off Joey Votto, who's looking very nice against Corbin Burns and those metrics that we have over here at SHIPIT Nation. But give me Votto, give me Abbott, and that's about it in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie too. That man hit one over the Subaru there. I think it went out, rolled out of the park. But man, I haven't seen a ball hit that far American family in a long time. So I was going back to it because I asked Nades yesterday about the Seattle, Luis Castillo, Maeda, like they just saw this team last week, and you just talked about Abbott. Do you have like a general? Is it advantage pitcher to you when the pitcher sees a lineup multiple times? I don't think there's enough. There's not enough data. There's not enough stats. Pitchers adjust, hitters adjust. Like I don't view it. I look into it too much, but you did just talk about it, so I'm curious your thought process on that.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, it's not really something that I look into too much. I mean, I would have to look and see what the lineups were if it was the same lineup and different things like that. Obviously, different environment, different day. Who knows what they were doing the night before, day of. I just mentioned to say they're familiar with each other. I mean, they probably all are familiar with each other at this day and age. But I just think it's weird 3 times in 18 days. It's just unique to see that. And like you said, no data to prove who has an advantage.
Yeah, no, it's very unique to say that. So it's definitely a good point to bring up. Just sometimes I ask someone and they did have a strong opinion, advantage hitters, advantage pitchers. Nothing over here, though. Keeping it rolling. Next game on the slate. What do we got left? 5 games on the slate. That will get you lowish on pitcher dong of the day. Do appreciate that light ball. Let's get 100. It would be awesome. Chicago Cubs, Battle of Chicago. Cubs, White Sox, Kyle Hendricks, Michael Kopech. 85 degrees in Chicago. Both teams, 9 total. Both teams about the same team total, sitting around 4.5. Kopech gives up the long ball. So some of these Cubs power hunting with them. I got to refresh to see the lineup. Yeah, Mike Tauchman right at the top of the order. Cody Bellinger, Ian Happ, Suzuki's going to get some ownership right in there, though. I mean, I don't mind any of Miles Master Bruni down there, third base, mid-price 2K. I don't mind these Cubs. Home run hunting. If Kopech gets blown up, the ball will go over the fence. Other spots are like more in a vacuum, though. As far as Hendricks, I don't know, man. These White Sox against a righty is just not really a team I've got too much. Hendricks keeps the ball on the ground a bit. Don't think he's a good pitcher, but better real-life pitcher than DFS pitcher always. Leading the Cubs side. Still other games I prefer more, but maybe you can talk me into a little more interest.
I'm not going to talk in either side of these bats, Title. I just no interest in these bats. And we didn't touch on Kopech, and I know we're not talking pitchers, but I might have a little bit of interest in Kopech now, just looking at this lineup and seeing all the K possibilities in there. But for this sake, yeah, no bats on either side for me.
Yeah, Kopech, he'd be the lowest I go at pitcher. I think he's viable, solid K prop. He does have upside. He can give up the long ball. He also can. He does have strikeout upside for 7.1K. You can do worse, but yeah, it's one of those spots. If you had 20 teams and you had one with Kopech or a couple of Kopech, one with a Cubs stack, obviously not in the same lineup. I think that's a pitcher you can do that with. 4 games left. Pittsburgh Pirates, San Diego Padres, Rich Hill, Blake Snell. The Padres, yeah, I mean, if this Braves situation looks worse and worse, if that game gets scrapped, I think a lot of that Braves exposure goes to these Padres. Rich Hill's no good. Kim just double-downed yesterday. He got Tatis, got Machado. I like a lefty Juan Soto. People are going to his ownership's going to be lower just because the lefty. If you're already stacking the Padres, you think they get Rich Hill out of there pretty early, take the ownership discount. Soto can still hit lefty. So he's actually probably my favorite bat on this team because of his ownership. And you can always go to the bottom of the order. They won't be as high owned, but yeah, they're going to get some ownership, rightfully so. Rich Hill's no good. What do you like?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Blake Snell is, my 1A, 1B pitcher, just depending on the site. So certainly no interest in any of those Pirates. No interest there. And then, yeah, these Padres, they're always scary. And you're right, the Braves ownership is going to go to these guys if they don't play that game. But Fernando Tatis profiles very well. Juan Soto, that's a great call by you, lefty. People will be shy away from that. But Rich Hill won't be in there 5 innings if we do what the Padres think they're going to do. And he can hit lefties anyway. So like him as well, like Machado in that 4-hole, Xander Bogaerts in the 5-hole. Really 1 through 9, if you wanted to stack these guys, I think is okay. But Tatis stands out to me amongst this team.
Yeah, we just got the lineup too. Looks pretty much what was expected. So we won't get any ownership discount for a lineup coming out late. It feels like lately there's always been one team that's had it way later than the rest, but don't have to worry about that for the Padres. Keeping it rolling, St. Louis Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks, Steven Matz, Merrill Kelly, 9 total. The roof will definitely be closed. I love this game yesterday. Yeah, you were on Goldie. I saw your core right there. Goldie got the job done pretty early. I prefer the D-back side. I prefer picking on Matz than I do Merrill Kelly. But they don't crack. I mean, there's other spots I like more. The bottom of the order will be cheap, though. Maybe you can't even play Longoria and Manuel Rivera if they're both in there. They're both third base on DK. You can do that on FanDuel. Christian Walker, Gary Al, those are my favorite bats. Corbin Carroll right there in the same lefty spot as Juan Soto, which will keep the ownership down. But I don't know. I like other spots on this 12-game slate more. What about you?
Yeah, Maeda, Goldie, and Arenado all on my core last night. I couldn't get the rest of the core to act and cooperate correctly. But so Merrill Kelly, no interest in him pitching for the first time in a month, coming off the IL. He's a really good pitcher if he's healthy, so no interest for me on the Cardinals side. And Matz, 2 of his last 3 games has gone over 25 points, DK points, and historically we would have picked on him, especially with righties. I don't know. Talk about a team that's going to be under-owned that has a lot of potential. I think, if you would ask me a month ago, Matz would have been someone we picked on in this spot. And now he's, no one's talking about the D-backs. No one's talking about Corbin Carroll, who was over 35% last night in my contest. So Corbin Carroll, lefty on lefty. Christian Walker, who can always hit those lefties hard. I may have to look at these D-backs, especially low owned. I haven't looked at their ownership percentage, but I'd imagine it's sub 10% across the board. So yeah, so interest in a little bit of interest in these D-backs as we talk through it, Title. And I'm going to pull up Yeah, everybody's. I mean, Kettle Marte is the highest owned at 10%. Everybody else, Corbin Carroll at 5%, Christian Walker at 2%. This is looking good, Title.
Yeah, I like it. You're on board. It feels, yeah. I mean, maybe ownership like when if the Braves get canned, maybe some ownership a little bit goes up here, but I still more spots. The Padres, some of these other spots are going to get way more ownership of that Braves. So yeah, I think they stay low owned. Corbin Carroll, same thing I said about Juan Soto. Lefty keeps his ownership down. You got to pay Marte, Christian Walker, some expensive bets there. So if you had to pick Rangers or D-backs, because I know you had some interest there, ownership will be low in both. If I put you on the spot, if you had to pick one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rangers just because Adolis is my top ranked guy. Yeah. The one thing I'll say about that lefty that if the pitcher threw gas, right, I would be a little bit more concerned. With Matz and Rich Hill both being soft tossers, that throw more junk and stuff, I don't think it matters as much if you're facing like 95, 97 miles an hour. They're facing 90 to 92 with a bunch of sliders and curveballs. That doesn't scare me. So give me these lefties that are going to be, I'm not going to say unowned, but Carroll will be way less owned than Soto. I don't mind them at all. Might do a little Rangers D-back stack, hometown D-back stack for my boy Title.
There we go. Get Hamwich to the top. 5 doesn't work. You need a one piece, one spot today. Get them that Q spot. 2 games left on the slate. Oakland Athletics, San Francisco Giants, Ken Waldichuk, Alex Cobb. I like Alex Cobb. If these A's beat me, they beat me. As far as the Giants, they got a 5 total. Ken Waldichuk is not good. The bullpen isn't good. It is only 60 degrees, which I do not like to see in San Fran. Always got to worry about some pinch hit risk. Who are the safe bats if you did want to play the Giants who won't get pinch hit for? Obviously, whatever lefties are there, but like is Wilmer, some of these righties, we don't have the lineup yet, expected lineup. Who do you think is safe if you want to play them? How do they rank amongst some other teams?
Yeah, well, first off, I can't do any A's. I'm not playing any Cobb. He just doesn't strike anybody out. But this A's offense is horrendous. So no A's. And man, when I was looking at the solver today and I was messing around with my teams and what the optimals were, I was getting 4 Giants on both sites. And Title, I just can't do it. Not in a tournament anyway. There's too much pinch hit risk. You talked about the weather. This ballpark. We talk about the Guardians. This ballpark rarely has 2 teams or a team that's on the winner. So I'm going to pass. I know they're going to be popular. Anytime you get the Giants, you get the Nationals, and the Guardians, the Royals, somebody like that, the Marlins, I'm going to pass when they're the chalk because at the end of the day, they're just not good offenses. And I'm going to roll the dice with teams that I feel like they could put up 10 runs, and that's the Rangers and that's the Diamondbacks.
No, definitely makes sense. If I played some of them, I think I'd throw them in that same boat as the Brewers, same boat as the Guardians, where you go to the bottom of the order, the really cheap guys, and that's already after you plugged in Marte, Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker, Burns, Snell, something like that, where you use so much salary. The bottom of this order for the Giants should be cheap. So I'd leave in my pool that way. But yeah, like Wilmer, Slater, like these guys are going to get some ownership for sure. I don't love that as much. I'd rather play teams that are in 80 degrees, 85 degrees than 60 degrees. So especially with pinch hit risk.
Yeah, and get pitch hit for in the 6th or 7th inning when they bring in a righty. It's just like, it's so tilting playing them in tournaments.
Yeah, that most definitely. Last game on the slate, and then we'll get you dong of the day. Lowish on pitcher, 215 watching, 85 likes. We appreciate all you guys hanging out, hitting that like button, contributing in chat, makes the show fun. Let's get 15 more likes, though. Very doable. Toronto Blue Jays, Los Angeles Dodgers, Chris Bassett, Julio Urias, 83 degrees, 85 degrees in LA. Wind's blowing out to center a little bit. Dodgers, I think they're another team where if the Braves get canned from the slate, they'll get some ownership. Still think they're going to be low owned, though. You mentioned your interest for Chris Bassett, though, so just naturally, definitely respect everything you got to say. I love other teams on this slate, so I'll say I don't have as much interest in the Dodgers. And as far as the Blue Jays, I don't know, man. Julio Urias, he can be all over the place. Last start, not good. The start before gem, start before awful. Which one's it going to be? If it's the bad one, you'll get these Blue Jays really low owned. I guess I have more interest in the Blue Jays now that I'm talking about it, but I like other teams we talked about more. I even like the Guardians more than both these teams. So they fall down the list. I'm not playing 20-plus teams, so I'll say no. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the ownership, I mean, every player in this game, from what I can see, this is DK I'm talking, is going to be sub 10%. And once again, I want to pick on pitchers that I don't have any respect for. And I have a little bit of respect for Chris Bassett and Julio Urias for that matter. You can never go wrong playing Mookie, playing Freddie, somebody like that. Over here at SHIPIT Nation, we really like Max Muncy. I personally don't like Max Muncy, but we like him at SHIPIT Nation tonight. The one Blue Jay that does stand out, and he profiles very well from what I'm looking at, Matt Chapman on the right-handed side going against a lefty. So Matt Chapman would be the only Blue Jay that I would play, and then I would only play Freddie or Mookie at the top, but I wouldn't stack this game because I have respect for these pitchers.
I like it. That is all 12 games on this slate. Awesome stuff. We're going to get you a low-ish owned pitcher. Going to get you the dong of the day. First, let's go top 3 stacks, actually, to start. I like Padres 1. I like the Nationals 2. Then debating on the third. I'll go D-backs. I'll ride the D-backs with you as well. So that's my top 3. What do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna exclude the Braves and Red Sox game just because I don't think it's gonna play. Yeah, so number 1 for me is definitely going to be the Rangers. Number 2, I'm going to go Diamondbacks, and the third, it looks like I'm going to have to go. I'm gonna go the Padres, and then I was going to say the Yankees, but you said earlier you wouldn't pick on Verlander, and I did too. The Yankees would be my 4th, and that's kind of my low-owned stack that I think might break the slate today.
No, I don't hate it at all. I mean, Verlander is not striking people out. Balls in play in Yankee Stadium, cheap bats. You can unowned. You can definitely do worse. So, the lefties, McKinney, Bowers would be my 2 favorite right there. Let's go low-ish owned pitcher. This is tough. I'm going to go George Kirby because he's right in that range. Burns is 500 more. Cobb is 1,100 less. Savali's less. I think he is in this dead range right here. Keep going back to the Seattle-Minnesota game. Worked out yesterday. This Twins lineup I'm not scared of. And then Big Bill Miller behind the dish. Stream pitchers on decent K prop, 5.5. So a good amount of juice on the over for George Kirby. I think he comes in around 15%. Sign me up on this slate. So George Kirby is my guy. Who do you got as your low-ish owned pitcher?
I'm gonna give you 2. All right, I'm gonna give you 2. My lowest owned pitcher to finish, I'm gonna say top 3. It's gonna be Andrew Abbott tonight, like him, and then I'm gonna say this guy. I'm gonna give myself some leg room. I'm gonna say he's top 6, and that's your boy Trevor Williams, top 6 pitcher tonight on DK. Trevor Williams gonna throw up a 20-piece against these Rockies. I hope people play the Rockies because man, they're a bad offense. They have 2 batters that can hurt me. I'm gonna roll the dice, maybe throw in a DK team and with Trevor Williams to so I can throw up that screenshot later, hopefully when it comes home.
Someone go back and clip it from 30 minutes ago, talking first game of the night, Rockies Williams. I go, Ham has a little interest in the Williams, so I'll say no to Rockies. And first thing, no, I don't have interest. And then he puts up a 20-piece. I got interest in a 20-piece, Ham.
I'm playing. I wasn't going to play DK. I am going to play DK now. Now I think it's 111. If there's still a spot, I'm going to have my boy Trevor Williams. Come on, Trevor, let's go, baby.
There we go. Love to see that. Dorian, he said, "Oh yeah, Corbin Carroll not in the lineup. That's hurtful. That is hurtful. But I still like these D-backs. Only gets cheaper, but yeah, low on Carroll not there."
King of Smack says that Williams is ass, and I am not debating that. I'm going to roll the dice and say that Colorado's bats tonight are more ass than Williams, and that's my hot take. Top 6, 20-piece. Let's go.
I mean, he's going to be sub 5% owned. You get a whole different range at pitching. No one's going to that 6K range. Hey, you could do worse for sure. Dong of the daytime. You already gave yours. You can say it for the people. I'm
gonna give a 3-pack today. I'm gonna give a 3-pack. I'm gonna give some bold takes today. Not that these are bold takes, but I'm gonna go 3-pack. I already given you Adolis Garcia. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna go Fernando Tatis batting in that 2-hole against Rich Hill, and then my contrarian one.
Hold on. I'm gonna say mine just in case.
Okay, sorry.
I got Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas.
I'll stop at Tatis then. I won't give a third. Yeah,
you can give a third. I just didn't want you to take Lane Thomas because I had him circled. If you want to give a third, give a third.
Yeah. So Garcia, Tatis, and then I'm going to go contrarian. I'm going to say Joey Votto, the ageless wonder Joey Votto. Whoever they bring in out of the bullpen, I think he's going to take whoever they bring in out of the bullpen deep tonight. That's my 3-pack. I'm in Florida, so I can't bet it, but if you can, throw a little parlay, 3-team parlay, not 3-team, but 3-game parlay on that, and hopefully you make some money.
There you go. Absolutely love it. I had to make sure I got Lane Thomas in there because I didn't have a backup. And I know you mentioned him earlier too. So awesome stuff, Ham. Kent Waldachuk, King of Smack. You can slide into my DM if you want Kent Waldachuk's points over Williams. But awesome stuff, Ham. Hopefully you have a great time out there in Florida. Appreciate everyone out there that was watching. Like button, subscribe button on the way out. Helps us out a ton. And if you want hoops thoughts on this slate, Hamwich's core plays, Nate's core plays, G Rising slate plan, cash games, core report over here, as well as rankings that Boomer, man, he has been on fire. Hitter rankings, stack rankings, pitcher rankings, that bet money, projections as well. Best ball content. NFL will be here before we know it. Very exciting times coming up. Head over to SHIPITNation.com. Get in the Discord. We'd love to have you. And, of course, shout out drafters as always. Promo code is SHIPIT. They'll match 100% up to $100. Put in $100, they'll give you $100 for free. $20 best ball drafts, $3 best ball drafts, big prize pools. Looking for someone at SHIPIT Nation to ship this year. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great night. Let's see some SHIPIT Nation logos up top for Hamwich. I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.